We're live, I think. I know we're live. But is it me or is it Memorex? I don't know. See, this is what happens when you update. When you update the Windows. Windows 11. Terrible things happen. Now, I checked everything. My lights were good. I checked my Elgato Wavelink. The microphone is fine. The music is fine. The music is playing. Everything's perfect. I even started Streamlabs. Looked, yes, cameras were a little off. Fixed the camera, came back, look, yes, good, ready to go. Live stream, hilarious. First 20 minutes of the show, hilarious. Award-winning. No sound. And Commissioner Gordon said, no sound, I can't hear you. And I'm in the middle of looking at things. I'm not even looking at the screen. I was probably looking at Discord at the time, trying to figure out what was going on with all of my stuff being deleted again. We need a bat signal. A friend of mine who was like an assistant to a very eccentric director said, "You will never get Bill's attention on anything. You have to give him something in an envelope that vibrates and makes sound, and then he'll pay attention to it." So, I just have to add to my list of things to remember. And see, it's hidden by my microphone right here. I cannot see the audio. I have to go like this. Now I see the audio thing in Streamlabs working. Wavelink browser working. It's all working. And when I got the textual bat signal from Commissioner Gordon, none of it was working. It was dead. So sometimes when you do an update, Streamlabs deletes all of your sound. It leaves it there. But you don't know it's dead, so you have to go through and you have to delete every kind of sound source you have. Restart Streamlabs, and then go in and add it all back. And then restart Streamlabs and then see if it's still there. I hope we could just keep going, but then I thought, why would you want to keep going with your broadcast when you have 20 minutes of nothing that no one can hear? So, on the break, as we're getting everything set up again, I deleted it already. It's gone. Oh. So what did we miss? We missed the story of our lovely friend Ellie, who is young and delightful, and a student at a private college on the East Coast of the United States of America. And she was trying to join our Discord server so she could have a chat with her favorite person, Janet Marie, tomorrow. And Mr. Wick kept blocking her. I couldn't figure out why. She couldn't figure out why. It was because her account age, she had just opened her account. And Mr. Wick wants you to wait however many days you say, 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, for whatever you want for an account age. And then I turned that off so she could go in, and then she didn't verify with a CAPTCHA in time, I guess, because Mr. Wick gives you 12 seconds to type in your CAPTCHA. And if you don't type it in 12 seconds, it gives you a new one. And most people don't know you have to delete and go back and retype and put it in, and then get verified. We couldn't get Ellie registered. And most of the people that I want on that Discord server are old and dumb like me. They're not computer savvy and young and intelligent and sophisticated like the delightful Ellie. So if the delightful Ellie can't get on the Discord server, what am I going to do? So finally I figured out, look, Ellie, either come on the live stream today and we'll do it live in real time because it's perfect. Because it's like being on the telephone, without being on the telephone. You just come in chat, which she's very familiar with, and say, hey, I'm here. And I go, hey, I turned off everything. Go register. Hey, I registered. Okay, I'm turning all the fences back on. Done. But I don't know if she's coming. Because this is finals week. And I'm just watching my live stream text and watching Mr. Wick delete everything I'm saying. I thought I had that fixed. I whitelisted Scriptly, but Scriptly is not being left alone by Mr. Wick. And the other part of this is, there are services you can go to, paid, unpaid, to promote your Discord server. And that's how you reach people. In the early days of blogging, it was StumbleUpon. It was very big. You registered there, and then people would just stumble upon your blog. And we brought in a lot of new readers that way. It was just fantastic. It was free. It was open. It was like the web used to be. So that was a horn. So there are two services that you kind of use that I did some research on. One of them is top.gg, where you can put your server or your bot on there and get some publicity. And the other is Disboard. And this is the website I was showing you. Oh, Mr. Gordon, Commissioner Gordon says, good news, we hear you now. Can you hear me now? Thank you. Oh no, now where did I go? Oh, this is so funny. Let's see, this is main live. Yes. My intermission screen, we're not taking intermission. I have to check this. Yes. And when I go to my browser screen, I'm not here. Now that's funny. Oh, what happened? Remember the Who. Can you hear the real me? Can you? Can you? Exactly. Now, somehow, my camera has been... So let me see, where is my camera here? There's my camera. Okay, so if I copy this... This is really fun, by the way. This is live stream fun, not live stream fail, like the Reddit group, or whatever it is. Now I have to go back to here, and I have to paste in my referenced Facecam. Now, see, it's going to take over the whole screen, which we do not want, so I have to make it last in the list. So it behaves. Which is sort of interesting, but now I have to see if I can... Let's see, I want to trim. I think I want to trim myself. And maybe we don't have to be this tiny little thing anymore. Maybe we can just be a little bit bigger. Hey, this is what we call, into business, real-time fun. Oh, I don't want to do that. I want to see if I can cut. Yeah. And put this over here like that. Maybe. Maybe not. Oh, no. So I need to make myself here. Uh-oh. I'm not holding down the thing. And move over. Yeah. See? It's the fun of the live broadcast. Now, can I make this bigger? If I'm going to be bigger, can I make the rest of it bigger? So we can see it better. Maybe not. We could. It's not terrible. Charles Barkley would say, terrible. Maybe we move this. Nope, not that. This. Nope, not that. This. This, not that. If then this. Here we go. I know none of this is making any sense. Well, I don't know. Maybe we need to make this smaller too, so it all fits in there. Oh, selecting is very difficult on the computer because we have so many things going on and not all of them are showing. Mr. Maybe smaller. Make yourself go away. Oh, now that's going to mess that up. Oh, can't mess that up. I can't get that out. We'll try this. Now, if we start glitching, then we're going to have a problem. But if we're not glitching, maybe we'll be okay. I guess we can make that bigger, right? Who cares about a logo? Exhausted. It's time for my nap. So this is what this board looks like is I realized, oh, now my face is right in that. Okay. For now, is that this board was invited to my server by me because that was part of the requirement for getting on their service and to get promoted. Okay? And then I go on to my Mr. Wick, and I see that there are 365 invites from Discord that have been used over the past day. Now, we get raided overnight, and it's like every 2 hours, or we get bombarded. And I said, well, that's interesting, because there are a lot of invites coming from the Discord server that I didn't create, but that are showing up in my server. So I deleted Discord and all these other server services that I had, like a tip thing and the price of Ethereum and little piggies. I got rid of it all. And that was about 18 hours ago. And we have not had a raid since. Now that's interesting. I'm not saying there's no such thing as a coincidence. But sometimes there's interesting things that cannot be explained into the world in which we live. So be careful of who and what you are using to promote yourself, because you never know if you're going to be taken advantage of. Still, I'm trying to fix my face here, but I can't seem to select it. There we go. See if I can just make this a little bit bigger. So if that's true, that these raids from these bots were coming from a promotional Discord service, that's good, because that means that I can loosen things up a little bit on the Mr. Wick side and not have such a strong and powerful fence. And I can just invoke the powerful fence when Mr. Wick senses that a raid is coming our way. I guess we'll see, right? So if Ellie shows up, Ellie shows up. If Ellie doesn't show up, then I'm going to have to deal with this offline and somehow in real time. See what else is happening in other news. Oh, yeah. Hey. Soylent. As good as humanly possible. Now, right there, that is a mistake. Because they are now owning their history as Soylent Green from the movie. A human is not the joke. Human's not the phrase. The phrase is people. Soylent Green is people. And this is their new Soylent Green thing. It's a bar, and it's green. And the joke is, it's not made of people, but maybe it used to be. So they were having a promotion. They said, hey, come up with a slogan, a description, a whatever for our new bar. And if you do, we'll send you a 12-pack of Soylent Green Mint, which I believe is like 12 bottles worth about $35. And we'll send you a $250 gift card that you can use in the Soylent store. Okay, I'll take that challenge. And they said, just post it on your social media. So I posted it on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram and whatever, so Pinterest, I think. All my social media stuff, put the right hashtag in there. And that was like on May 5th, and Soylent immediately replied, said, hey, that's awesome. I said, great. And then waiting, and yesterday I discovered there's an email, a Facebook message from Soylent saying, hey, you won. And I thought, I did? I don't even remember what I said. And they sent me the little picture. If you read the description of the film Soylent Green, it takes place in the future, 2022. Now, that's very funny. I did not know that, Gordon. That's why they're doing it this year, which is fabulous. Very smart marketing. I've always said Soylent has very smart marketing. I just wish they had always owned the whole Soylent Green joke from the very beginning, which they didn't, but now they do because I guess it's the 50th anniversary of the movie. I don't know. So they wanted my contact information, and I was very happy to give it to them. Now, here's where it gets very interesting. And I cannot show you this screen because I can't figure out in this small window how to show comments from people. So on their giveaway page, I can't see. If you're going to say anything in chat, don't say it because I can't see the chat screen because this is too big because I'm using a different part of the browser. So they said, here's our contest. Now, I didn't realize that this appears to be an Instagram-only contest because I really was pushing it on Twitter because I have a Soylent Moment that I've been writing and tweeting to for about 10 years. So Soylent says, hey, we're giving away Soylent Green. Come up and receive your own. Okay. So they want people to give them their slogans. And here are the submitted slogans on Instagram that people were using. Soylent Green is good for the gut and soul. That doesn't make any sense. Another person says Soylent Green tastes like. Another says, delicious and complex. Love the little bits of... ... Another entry, bring the nature closer to you. Have some green. Another, simple yet complex. New but strangely familiar. Another, confused by how to enter. LOL. Another, it's not easy being Soylent Green. Now, that's a major mistake because you're mixing your film metaphors. It ain't easy being green is Kermit the Frog. It has nothing to do with Charlton Heston. And people! Soylent Green is people! Another person says Soylent Green, so good it's like a dream. Another person says Soylent Green, sour apple green. So, do you understand what I'm trying to share here? Those are really terrible. Because none of them really have the guts to reference what they're trying to now own and reference in 2022. The history of the movie Soylent Green. That's people! Generations. It's trouble. The young kids don't know the movie. They don't get the joke. They don't understand what they're talking about. And if Soylent's only looking for Instagram for their stuff, and they're ignoring all the stuff on Twitter, because when it said enter, it didn't say you had to be on a specific, it said share on your social media. I have only heard from the Soylent people on Instagram. Even when I say, hey, thanks for letting me, be involved in to ultimately win the contest. Here's all my Twitter stuff and they don't even acknowledge Twitter. So this was my original post that was posted everywhere with our 2 t-shirts and our 2 bottles, 24 overall, and the Soylent Green and the Soylent Green. And for some reason in this scene I can't even show you what it is that I said because it's not there. So this is what I received from the Soylent people. Hey, congrats to Ed Bowles Books for winning our $250 Soylent Green giveaway. Yay! And that's where they asked for my personal information so they can send it to me. They said, we're sending it to you in the mail. And this is what then I posted so then I could share my winning phrase. which was Soylent Green. We don't just taste of people anymore. Thank you so much. I wish I had applause. I do have applause somewhere. Where, do I have applause? You wouldn't hear it anyway. Excuse me. Hotbox time. Soylent Green. We don't just taste of people anymore. The of is the important word. I did work on it. I had several. Soylent Green. When you're in the mood for toes. Didn't go. So that's the big news of the day. And now we're coming up, believe it or not, on a hard break. It's been a hard day and a long night, but we're only just getting started. Now we're going to take a very brief break and return in a moment to continue the Wonderfest. And we are live here on Bowles.tv, back from break. I'm David Bowles, BOLES.tv. And we are live Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. Eastern, not always with audio, but we are live. If there's movement, we're live. Can you hear us? Tommy, can you hear me? Maybe, maybe not. I'm checking my moderation queue to see if Mr. Wick is still deleting me, and he is sort of. I don't know really what's going on, but no raids. It's really very interesting. So we were celebrating our Mr. Wick bot. We were celebrating Ellie trying to get in and not. Celebrating our Soylent Green win. And now the celebration continues. With my best friend Jill Biden. Now, many people don't know that Jill Biden and I go way back, like to last night. And even though she is the First Lady of these United States of America, sometimes she just needs your help. And she will send you an urgent message that you are very, very needed right now. So it really is my honor to get this wonderful email from the First Lady of the United States. And it is from username, I'm Mrs. Jill Biden. Oh, with the email address F. Biden, F. Bide, FBI Department Office. Okay, that's what it is. 78 at gmail.com. Now, you would think the First Lady of the United States would, if she were really in trouble, would send you something that like had her name in it, or come from whitehouse.gov. But maybe she's undercover because she's in trouble. On behalf and authorized right of President. Okay, I'm already with her. Greetings to you from the White House. And if you didn't know, the White House is the official residence of the President of the United States. And Gordon says, I love that it's in all caps. Absolutely. She must be heard over the din. Like she's yelling her name. Well, she needs to be known. She is in the shadow of the presidency. I am Mrs. Jill Biden. I would like to inform you that your funds issue was brought to my office this morning by the United Nations. Said that they have uploaded your inheritance fund of 50 million United States dollars. And it's all on an ATM Visa card, of which you can withdraw up to $600 today. And to delete, remove $50 million at $600 a time would take over 100 years. This is to inform you that we have been working towards the eradication of fraudsters. Okay. And scam artists in Africa. Well, I didn't know that's where they came from. On behalf of American citizens affected by Co-African fraudulent group with the help of the Organization of African Unity, OAU, United Nations, UN, and Federal Bureau of Investigation. Now, I didn't know the Federal Bureau of Investigation did international crime. I thought that was really the dominion of the CIA. But what do I know? We have been able to track down so many of this scam artist in various parts of Africa and Europe. And they will appear at International Crime Court, ICC, in The Hague, the Netherlands. soon for fraud justice. It's almost like a song. Clearly not rhyming, but you could make a melody out of it. Confirm to me your needed information below. Your full name, your phone number, where you live, your email address, your ID, and your age. Also, bear it in mind that your $50 million USD will be peacefully, which really, if it's not going to be peacefully delivered to me, I'm not interested. You can't force $50 million on me. I won't have it. $50 million will be peacefully delivered to you within 5 hours immediately. Is 5 hours immediate? Not really. The White House official accomplished the paperwork. This is your last chance, not only your last, first and only, but your last chance, to comply with the instruction, or else I will close your fill, which will make it impossible for you to receive your fund in future. I cry in now. You have only 2 working days to comply or lose this great opportunity. Well, if she only knew I don't work. So therefore, I'm not under a time constraint because that clock will never start. I'm a big do-nothing. I just sit here and talk to myself all day long. Signed herein by Mrs. Jill Biden, the White House, which is the official residence of the President of the U.S. Not the A, no USA, only the U.S. 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue, Northwest Washington, D.C. 20500. And by the way, her email address is now become jillbiden@gmail.com. So there you have it. 50 mil just waiting for me. All I have to do is send in all my private information. I don't think I will. I believe I'm going to pass on this exclusive opportunity from Greetings, Mrs. Joe Biden. Your urgent message is very needed now. Thanks, Jill. Hard pass. Now, speaking of fame and money, our friend Gordon sent us a very curious email this morning. For some reason, Gordon is following, interacting with Cher. Yes, that Cher of 1970s music fame. And Cher said, hey. And I say, hey, right back. Now, I don't know what she's saying hey about, because hey, as we've learned through the long, hard slog of this live stream, is an opening to say something that you need to really say. Like, I don't like your dress, or you don't work hard enough, or fix that, or do this. But society won't let us speak that way to people. Oh, no. No, 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 no. You can't get right to the point, especially in email. No, no, no. You have to soften it up a bit. And I have been taught, as perhaps Gordon has also learned, that saying, hey, how are you, hey? Nice weather today, hey, is allegedly supposed to soften up the actual message that comes in the next sentence or the next paragraph. So the fact that Cher is leaving us hanging with just a generic hey, I find highly suspicious. I'm not even sure if this is the Cher account. This might be Mrs. Jill Biden's account. Gordon says, I have a sudden recollection of Cher saying hey as just a thing unto itself. A Cherism, lol. Well, that is true. And I do use that sometimes with people. Instead of saying hi, you say hey. But I wouldn't just say hey on social media because it's just weird. It's just sort of like, okay, And she has 4,000 retweets and 836 tweets and 56 likes. I don't understand what she's saying hey to. And nobody's replying to her, are they? Are these replies? The replies don't make sense in context. Doesn't make any sense. But that's Twitter. Erasing her. Now, speaking of the Twitter, oh, this was glorious news. Oh, this made my morning. Our new troll Twitter king, Elon Musk, who a lot of people had a lot of really respect for, and now they're all sort of hating him, especially the Tesla owners. They're saying if that guy buys Twitter and brings back Trump, I'm done with Tesla. I don't want anything to do with him. And it's being reflected in the Tesla price, and the price of Twitter is tanking. So early this morning, Elon tweets. It's covered all over the news. Well, maybe. Meow. I'm putting it on hold. Just a code phrase for, it's not gonna happen. Musk declares 44 billion Twitter takeover on hold. Forever on hold, many people are hoping. Twitter slumped 20% in pre-market trading after Musk tweets Tesla says on big accounts. There's something that is upsetting the Musk about the fake accounts. That's all Twitter is fake accounts. That's all Discord is fake bots. All of social media is a joke. Twitter slumped 20% in pre-market trading after Musk tweeted Friday that the deal was suspended, pending details on a recent filing from Twitter that fake accounts on the social media platform contributed less than 5% of its users. Now, Commissioner Gordon would go back and re-edit that to say fewer than 5% of its users, because if it's a number amount, it's fewer, not less than. Twitter says in its latest quarterly results, the average of false or spam accounts during the first quarter of 2022 represented fewer than, less than, 5% of our monthly daily active users totaling the quarter. However, Twitter said, it applied significant judgment to its latest estimate, and the true number could maybe, just possibly, we don't think so, but maybe, hey, it could be a little bit higher. Fighting fake accounts has been a cornerstone of Musk's bid to reform the Twitter. Well, if you do that, you're going to lose half your people, because they're not people, they're bots. In a statement announcing his deal to buy Twitter last month, he revealed he wanted to defeat spam bots. Authenticate all humans, I like that, and make his algorithms more open source. Musk has also said he'd like to make the platform a bastion of free speech. He doesn't understand what that means. He's South African, you really can't blame him, because he has no idea, and nobody right now is going to correct him, because he's Elon, and you don't speak truth to any sort of money power. Taking the guardrails off content moderation. Bots are currently allowed on the Twitter. Under the company's policy, such accounts are supposed to indicate that they're automated. Hey, I'm a bot. At least on Discord, when you're interacting with a bot, and it's a good bot, you can see it says usually bot after their name. Bots are currently allowed on the Twitter, although under the company's policy, such accounts are supposed to indicate they are automated. The platform has even launched a label for good bots, such as Tiny CareBot, an account that tweets self-care reminders. Spam bots, however, are not permitted, and the company has policies meant to combat them. And here's the official tweet: less than, fewer than. Oh, it's a mess. And here we go. This is Bloomberg getting down to the nut of it all. Doubts have grown in recent days that Musk would be able to pull off this acquisition of Twitter, and that the entrepreneur may consider dropping his price for the microblogging site. Oh, it's going to get good. And they say if he backs out, he'll have to pay $1 billion in a back-out fee, and people say that for him, that's nothing. So it's going to be really delicious as this starts unfolding, because he really can't afford it, especially with Tesla stock going down, getting struck down by people who are getting tired of him. Now, here's some interesting news. Who would have thought that people who kill animals for a living might lie about it? Meatpackers hyped baseless shortage to keep plants alive amid COVID. Oh, now my Discord bot's just going crazy with my... Something's going wrong. I don't know what it is. I have to turn this off, or I'm going to look at it the whole time. Okay, so meatpackers hype baseless shortage to keep plants open amid COVID. It was very weird that meat manufacturers were considered vital employees, and even though the employees were treated horribly by the meatpackers, they still got waivers and exceptions to go ahead and keep working. The biggest players in the U.S. meat industry pressed baseless claims of beef and pork shortages early in the pandemic to persuade the Trump White House to keep processing plants running, disregarding the coronavirus risks that eventually killed at least 269 workers. The committee alleges the Tyson Foods legal team prepared a draft with input from other companies that became the basis for an executive order to keep the plants open that the Trump administration issued in April 2020, making it difficult for workers to stay home. I remember the stories. It was really dramatic and terrible, and all these other fear-mongering stories like, oh my goodness, we're running out of meat. We're not going to be able to survive. We're in a pandemic. All a big lie. Internal industry documents showed that despite awareness of the high risks of coronavirus spread in their plants, meatpacking companies engaged in a concerted effort with the Trump administration, political officials, to insulate themselves from coronavirus-related oversight, to force workers, not invite them, oh no, force them, to continue working in dangerous conditions and to shield themselves from legal liability for any resulting worker illness or death. Oh, it's just terrible people. The meat production system is a modern wonder of slaughter and killing, but it's not one that can be redirected at the flip of a switch. That is the challenge we faced as restaurants closed, consumption patterns changed, and hogs backed up on farms with nowhere to go. They can't make it to the slaughterhouse in time. We have to keep the killing machine moving. The concerns we expressed were very real, and we are thankful that a true food crisis was averted, and we are starting return to normal. Oh boy. And it goes on and on and on with all the lies that were unironically fed to us. Oh, we have to have meat. Gotta have that pork in the middle of a COVID pandemic. And now we're taking a very brief break. And we will return in a moment. Oh, we're back here on Bowles.tv. BOLES.tv. I'm David Bowles, live, except when we're not. And we are here Monday through Friday at 9 a.m. Jana Marie is here tomorrow, 11 a.m., right here in this chair, talking about American Sign Language and disability and helping disabled people get jobs. Same thing on Sunday. She invites her deaf friends and her students and anybody who's interested in talking about things to show up and come in and join in a chat. So, on break, as I'm sitting here, I'm seeing Scriptly, which is I speak. Hello, the green circle says I'm speaking. And then Scriptly takes that speech and transcribes it into text in our Discord server. And it's not working because Mr. Wick has gone after Scriptly big time. And I thought I had this fixed yesterday, but obviously I did something wrong. But this is what the log looks like. Webhook, space, Scriptly, success, trigger. Somehow I guess I said the word rectum, talking about our South African friend. And somehow rectum was a trigger that just made Mr. Wick go crazy. See, rectum right here, rectum. Wrecked him? Is that what I was saying? I don't know. But here we go. Panic mode triggered. Heat system, dangerous. 3 raiders have triggered your panic mode. Wick will instantly mute any gun suspected of raiding that sends a message. Panic mode duration will last 10 minutes. There's nobody there except me and Scriptly. And this is where it gets very interesting, because to get Scriptly to work, you have to invoke it. You stop it by saying disconnect. You start the translation by saying transcribe. Go. And so Mr. Wick is saying, don't transcribe. And then Scriptly turns around and says, I'm transcribing now. Don't transcribe. I'm transcribing. Don't transcribe. And here's right here. Right here. You see it on the screen. This is them fighting. Trigger, success. Separator, webhook, success. Scriptly, trigger, Mr. Wick. Success, trigger, Mr. Wick. Back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Wick is winning, by the way. So, my transcription is now being muted for 10 minutes. How many raiders did we have? 25. 1. It says 25, but it's Scriptly putting in 25 lines of translation. Yeah, it's been a long week. Meow. Now we're just going to close today with sort of an interesting thing that's been bothering me for quite a while. There are certain programs of study at major universities. One in the Eastern Corridor in New York City / New York City is a private university. Another one is at a Midwestern university in the large city of Omaha. And they are both called communication disorders. Now, communication disorder is a technical, medical, scientific, psychological term. What are the 5 communication disorders? Okay, well, the DSM-5, which is a book that determines everything that's wrong with you and gives you examples for diagnosis in psychiatry. The DSM-5 communication disorders are broken into the following categories: language disorder, speech sound disorder, childhood onset fluency disorder, stuttering, social pragmatic communication disorder, unspecified communication disorder. So you always have to have a catch-all. Now, the thing I don't like about this kind of psychiatry, this kind of treatment, is that, well, you have to be one of these things. And if you don't fit, then you're just unspecified. I don't like these labels being applied to people. But other people say we can't heal them if we don't have a diagnosis. Well, I say this is a diagnosis, it's an opinion, really. So, these communication disorder programs, departments, tend to focus on the deaf, and they tend to train speech pathologists. Some, not all, speech pathologists think that it's important to learn sign language. Not really become fluent, but to learn enough to make one of these diagnoses. And the problem with it is the speech pathologist, strictly speaking, from a deaf culture point of view, is not a friend of the deaf community. A speech pathologist's job is not to use sign language to communicate. It's to use sign language in order to get you to use your voice. They're not speech helpers, they're not speech therapists, they are speech pathologists. And they want to figure out why you're using your hands instead of your voice. And now there's sort of a thinking among some people, some schools, that American Sign Language programs should be not necessarily placed in a foreign language category, because the strict linguists say that it's a bastard language, it's not pure, it's stolen from French and sort of cobbled together. We don't want it anymore. So where do you put it? I don't know. They're all over the place. But the new thinking is, well, let's drop it into communication disorders. And we can have our speech pathologists take some classes there. And it makes them look fluent. But the problem is, most people who teach American Sign Language are deaf. They don't like their language being categorized as a disorder, because that goes to the medical view of deafness, which deaf people do not support. They don't want to be labeled as broken or in need of fixing, but that is the medical view of deafness. Let's give them a hearing aid. Let's give them a cochlear implant. Let's fix them at birth and make them non-deaf and force them into a hearing role. Gordon says Romanian is a beautiful Latin-based language that also steals words from all kinds of countries, which is quite amusing. That's very interesting. Now, is Romanian considered a foreign language that's acceptable at a university? I don't know. I would think if it's not, you could petition and it would be, because it's a living spoken language. And it depends if it's your first language or your second language, because if it's your first language, that's not a foreign language. No. Your first language is English. Your first language is Romanian. Your second language is English. It's a very interesting game they play. So, I just said, why, if you're going to have a program and you want to be inclusive and you don't want to be negative, why would you if you can be a sanitation engineer instead of a garbage man, if you can be a postal delivery service human being instead of a postman, why can't you be a communication variant? A communication pathway. Gordon says, technically, it was my first language. Does that make English a foreign language for me, born in Perth Amboy, New Jersey? Yes, it does, if you're at a university. My first language? Shazam, Romanian. My second language is English, absolutely 100%. Just like Jana Marie, like it or not, she was born into a hearing family. Her first language, growing up, even though she didn't have a language, really, was English. And her second language was ASL. And she went to Lehman College, and they laughed in her face. They had a deaf program there and said, "Pah, you're deaf. You're born deaf. Your first language is ASL. And we don't accept English as a foreign language here, so you're going to have to take Spanish." Now, that's a rough thing to say, that you have to have a spoken language be a foreign language for a deaf person. And so she petitioned and she did the research and she said, no. My first language, in every sense of the word, was English. And it was later in high school and later in college that I learned ASL because of my deafness, and ASL is my second language, therefore my foreign language that I'm allowed to test out of and get it waived. And she won her appeal. But to have to go through it at a university with, at that time, a deaf adult program in education was just weird. So is there any communication variations? Communication methods? Why does it have to be the negative? Disorder. Oh, you're disordered. The American Sign Language program is in communication disorders. That's not going to go over well with people. And you think, well, it's just a word. What does it matter? It's a diagnosis. Well, several years ago, 2018, the state of New York officially changed the term hearing impaired as being a negative, as being derogatory, and is now changed to deaf or hard of hearing, which is super fantastic, and not all states believe that. A new bill signed in 2018 by then Governor New York Andrew Cuomo has changed the term hearing impaired as it appeared in state law, to deaf or hard of hearing. The bill was passed in March by the State Assembly and the Senate in April. Legislation was sponsored by Senator Murphy. Utah passed a similar law the year before. That's what it should be. Change it. Just because the DSM-5 says this is a disorder doesn't mean you have to name your program that. Doesn't mean you have to name your department that. Find a better way, do a better job. Include people through language. Don't label them and disassociate them based on a preconceived notion of what's acceptable and what is not acceptable. And now we have come to the end momentarily of our time together. We started off strong, we're ending strong, our middle was strong. I'll be back here on Monday, as live as I want to be. Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. Tomorrow it's the Jan Marie Show, 11 a.m., a lot of fun. Sunday, 11 a.m., a lot of fun. If you have a question or comment for me, you can email me, david@bowls.tv. If you want to get in touch with Jana, you can go to jana@bowls.tv as an email. You can join our Discord server. Yeah, I'll try. I'll get it fixed. Gordon says, any chance you can do a quick Frank Sinatra and now the end is near? I would, but I would probably get silenced and botted for doing that. Even if you sing, they get you on copyright infringement for 4 musical notes. Name that tune. I can name that tune in 4 notes. And it got George Harrison on My Sweet Lord. I don't want to sing it because I get in trouble. My Sweet Lord. Those 4 notes were sung by a previous group. They sued George for ripping off their melody. 4 notes in a row was enough to trigger a guilty ruling, and that George Harrison had to give up all of his rights to that wonderful song, My Sweet Lord. success. Also, Gordon asks, quick question, do you use Strava for fitness tracking? I have used Strava in the past. I like it. If you're going to go for Strava, you have to pay because that's where all the really interesting good stuff is. And Strava, for me, was a wonderful place to let it manage all of my health. I let it manage my Apple Watch. I let it manage Apple Fitness. I had a couple of the fitness apps that would write to Strava. The only problem I had is that then Strava would take that information from this app and then write it to Apple Health. So sometimes you get double entries. And I don't use it as much anymore because I use more, what am I using? Fit IV, I think, is my number one thing. I can never remember. Fit IV Pulse, which I use with my Apple Watch. It's really terrific. And anytime I do anything, I say, okay, go. And it tracks you GPS, and it tracks your heart rate. Really terrific. And it gives you lots of awards, which I like. Competing with myself to see if I can get up and do it. But Strava it's a pro class, especially if you're a runner. It really does great if you're a runner. If you're walking, it helps a little bit. I'm not running very much. You can also find me on Twitter and Jana Marie at David Bowles. Super follow to follow. Gordon says they're starting to partner with companies to offer people challenges. So like from this date to this date, do this many workouts and get a discount on fitness supplement. That's very true. And they do give you a lot of challenges. I used them for about 5 years. But there was always some kind of hook to it. Like, okay, you get this discounted rate on this cycling shirt. And then you go, and it's the cycling shirt with advertisement all over it. It's not the plain black one that everyone wants. So there was always a little bit of disappointment in the free things that they said they were giving you that you never got. On Facebook, we're regular old BOLES. On Instagram, Bowles Books. That's where we won our Soylent contest. On TikTok, we are, Bowles TV. And Discord, we are there. We are trying to get there. Gordon also says, I did a cute Star Wars themed challenge and got a pack of vegan bars and oats and granola for like $30. Free shipping. My stomach will not complain. Well, that's good. You're taking advantage of it. That's very smart. You're making it fit you instead of you trying to fit it. So, until tomorrow, when Jana Marie is here, and Sunday when Jana Marie is here, and when Jana Marie does her live show, I'm there. I'm moderating her chat. So if you need something, or Discord, or chatting here, I will fix it. Gordon says, I'll let you know where to get them and how they are. Thanks for having us. Oh, that's wonderful. Thank you for being here, Gordon. I appreciate you. Commissioner Gordon of the Bat Signal. We can't hear you. What? We can't hear you. Oh, no. 20 minutes down the drain. And that's how classic comedy gets lost. Because there's no audio. So, Jana Marie's here on the weekends, but I'm also here. So I'm in chat. I run the Bowles brand bot while I'm there. And Jana doesn't refer to me as me. She says, Bot, can you fix this? Yes, I'll fix it. I'm not a bot, though. I'm Bowles brand. I believe that is because she's using this account. She sits here and she becomes Bowles TV as she's typing, which is great. That's what it's supposed to be. So until tomorrow, textually, and until Sunday, textually, and until Monday, visually and audibly, I wish you a great day, a wonderful nap. It's going to rain all day in New York, so try to stay out of the rain if you can. Find some sunshine in your soul and the joy and happiness that belongs to you. I'll see you soon.